The socks for today are a pattern by me. These are my hexapeel socks. I started them on April 17 and I finished them on August 4. The blue-green colorway for heel-toes cuffs is my Diopta's, and the body of the sock is in golden leaves. It has this cute hexagon pattern, and there is an eye of partridge heel in this sock. A lovely pair. I was starting the Dutch vlog and told that I was going to do the suspended bind off for my bits and bobs swatch. And then I thought I could as well show it while I was binding off. So the suspended bind off, you knit 2 stitches or you knit 1 extra stitch and then you bind off 1. But you don't slip it off your left hand needle. Instead, you knit the next stitch for the bind off and then you slip it off. So I'm going to slip it off, but keep it on my left hand needle. Knit the next stitch. Bind off, keep it on the needle. Knit the next stitch. And what this does, because you are stretching things out here, it gives you just a tiny bit more room in your bind off that you just might need. For my actual blanket, this is really very unimportant because I'm going to do an I-cord cast on and an I-cord bind off, so there's no point really. Or at least it's my plan to do I-cords, but I might change my mind. Anyways, I thought I would suspended bind off this one so that I can soak it for a little. I have my swatch from the Wee Yarn Company yarn also ready, that can be soaked and blocked so that I know what I have to work with. So here we are. I'm going to cut this yarn and then I am done with the bind off. Good afternoon. Welcome to Vlogmas day 14. It is 3:15 p.m. I know it's so common for you to say AM or PM, but I always have to think about it. Welcome. I'm so glad you are here. Let's see. Today we went into town for a cup of coffee again. We did that last weekend and that didn't work out very well for me because it was just too much. And today we went into town, we parked close by, so we had our coffee. And when we walked back to the car, I was really shivering. And when we got back home, I lay down immediately under a blankie and I slept for half an hour. But after that, I felt so much better. The past week I was feeling a bit meh. As long as I kept myself busy, as long as I was recording Vlogmas or knitting, it was okay. But as soon as as I just sat for a bit, I felt rubbish. Yeah. Well, I am a very busy bee usually, and now after my abdominal surgery I'm not allowed to do much. and I'm still very tired. So yeah, at some moments that is just, how do you say that? It's getting the better of me. So, well, I was just struggling just a little, nothing big. Please don't think that. Just a little, but I just had a little meh week. So, but I think I will start to feel better from now on. I somehow think that that I made a step towards recovery again. So, okay, we have something to think about today. Of course we have. Let's see, this was yesterday's day 14. Some people say knitting is boring. I say they're not right. I will put it up in the title because it's a kind of a word joke, of course. This one works way better in English. So, well, if I think about this for just 1 second, knitting is never boring in my opinion. Even a sea of stockinette is not boring, because while you knit the sea of stockinette, you can just think about all the other things you want to knit and that you want to do. So no, knitting is not boring at all. And let's see, I have been knitting. Yes, I have. Oh, first of all, this heartwarming tea was in my calendar this morning. I had the chili tea when I was recording the Dutch vlog. That was in the calendar yesterday. That was really nice. And this pretty green. This makes me so happy. Oh, I love it. But yeah, well, I have been knitting. And this morning I was knitting on my Musselburgh because we were going into town for coffee. And this is in my cute little Christmas bag by Fiber Rachel. So this fits in my purse, nice and easy. And let's see. I knitted this bit. Here is my Apollo stitch marker in my Apollo colorway. And this gingerbread house indicates how many rounds I did. So I'm going to move it up now, so that when it comes out of the bag next time, I can show you how much I did then. And yesterday I was planning on separating the sleeves for this one, but once I got ready to edit Vlogmas, and when I sat down on the couch, I left this at the table here, and I did not want to get up to get it. So I did knit just a few rounds. I do, let's see, where's the owl here? I do have 5 centimeters now, 2 inches. So I might put it on a knitting cord again to try it on. But before I forget, I will move the stitch marker up. So I'm not going to separate sleeves just because last Thursday I decided with a friend that I needed 5 more centimeters. I want to try it on again first, because once I've separated, I really want to be on the right track. Oh, and today in Wol Hobbies Advent Calendar was this my cozy yarn sleeve. And I've been using this for quite some time now, and I had to be so careful not to show it. not to spoil anything, but now I can, so that's okay. So I knitted on that, but when I sat down there yesterday, I wanted to have something to knit, of course, and there was some knitting right next to me in my hobby bags bag, and that is my Summer Light from Julie Knits in Paris. With my cute stitch markers that I got in my advent calendar from Esther. And let's see, since the last time you saw it, I knitted this amount. So I counted the amount of ragline increases earlier, and I'm on 14 increases now. I need 28, so I'm halfway there, but every increase round you increase 8 stitches, so your stitch count goes up quite fast. I'm going to move the kitty cat stitch marker up, and I will put it in this ragline increase, because then I know that I had 14, and then I can keep an eye out for the 28, or maybe I'm not exactly sure if I'm on par with gauge, so I might check just a little sooner. And I found my tag again. When I was showing this earlier this week, I lost my tag in the mess that accumulated here on the table, but I found it again. This is Bad Katoe yarn, and she is a colleague from Amsterdam, and from Zaandam, and this yarn is La Festa Fluff. It's 70% kit mohair and 30% silk, and it has 500 meters on 50 grams. So yeah, I will keep this in the bag now, and I think I need to make a picture from this knit. Yes, I still need to make a picture, so I should leave it out here so that I can take that picture and put it on my Ravelry project page. The same goes for the Musselburgh hat. I added a picture of the no frills cardigan yesterday. No, leave it out, Lynn. So, yeah. The shawl that I'm wearing today, let me take it off for a second. Because I was cold, I'm wearing all the knits. This is the Adventuresome shawl by Amber O'Brien, and she has a wonderful collection, of patterns that you can knit with an yarn advent calendar. And this project has 819 projects already, and it's in 814 queues. But the most fun part of this is when you go in, you can check out all the colorways that people knitted this in, and it is such a joy to browse through those projects. Some people kept it more tonal, some people went completely crazy. There are several shawls. When I was scrolling, I was like, is that my shawl? No, it wasn't, but there were more people who decided on a rainbow palette. So I started this on December 1st, 2023, and I finished it on December 31st, 2023. I remember that I had a big finish last year. Let's see. I did finish 3 or 4 different things, I think. I finished my temperature blanket. Of course, that was a year-long project. I finished my snow matter what. I started that on December 1st and finished it on December 23rd. Okay, well, that was it. So 1, 2, 3 projects. So that was quite nice. The favorite of today is favorite colors. And I absolutely love all the fall colors. I think the days before the leaves drop on the ground, well, that must be my favorite color palette, I think. But I did a color advice workshop. I don't know how to call it. But I had a professional tell me what colors look best on me, what glasses look best on my face, what haircut would fit me best, what clothing shape would flatter most. So it was quite an extensive day, and I learned a lot, and I'm not always keeping to my color palette. I definitely don't use the haircut, glasses, clothing shape, which is a shame really, because it was a very expensive day. But I'm not the same shape anymore as I was then. And of course, I'm a ginger. This is my natural hair color, but I am turning 60. I'm turning 56 next week, the 27th. 56 or 55? No, I'm turning 55. Well, my hair color changes, of course. I don't think that particularly means that you should do different things. I think that the complexion of your skin still matches the advice that she gave for the hair color. But, well, I just don't use those parts. And it is like, well, it might be 20 years ago that I had that color advice. And but where I was going, I am not an autumn type. I am a clear, warm spring type. I have a color a stack with all the colors, and you can fold it open like a fan shape. But I keep this in my telephone so that when I'm shopping and when I am in doubt about what color I should choose, I always have this little card with me. So, but if you look, for example, at my muscle burrow hats, because she explained to me that it's not that you should match the exact color on your card, but we are already losing daylight, but your colors should kind of blend into the background that you want to buy a piece of clothing in, or that you want to knit in. And I think that with this Apollo colorway, that works really well. But if you look at my no frills cardigan and you put it on there, well, it's not bad. It's not even, it is even better than when in full daylight. It's not bad, but you can see that these colors are not the perfect match for me. I don't care. I want to wear this. But just to show you that it doesn't, that it has to kind of blend. Look, although there are orange colors in my color chart, the natural white in this is way too white for me. And I also tried it out on the Wee Yarn Company. Colorway, and this looks really nice. Oops. This looks really nice. So this is definitely a color that fits me well. I have been told by an expert that this colorway flatters nearly all European skin tones. I had to make an appearance on television for something, and it's years ago. I think even before I had this advice workshop. I had to make an appearance on TV, and she said, "What are you wearing?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. You get an advice that you can't wear anything with a very busy pattern in it, for example, and you can't wear green because if they are green screening, blah blah blah." But then she told me, go with a colorway like this, like petrol, something in that color, because that always is a good match with your skin tone, and you will look good on television. Okay. They of course put like this big of a layer of makeup on my face, but yeah, well, I always keep that in mind if I need to decide on a certain color, and I always have my cards. So I knitted this swatch yesterday in the Wee Yarn Company yarn. I knit, well, I should hold it like this. Here are 3 holes and 2 holes. So this part is knitted with needles 3.5, and here are 4 holes. So this is knitted with needle 4. And that were the needle sizes that are in the Hintermstein pattern, in the autumn square. So I am going to let this dry, and then I'm going to see what I think of the fabric, and if I want to swatch in another needle size. It felt quite nice while knitting, and I might stick to this needle size, but I have to see once I unpin it tomorrow what I think. And I didn't make a very long swatch, because I am less interested in the length of the gauge. I'm going to decide what length I'm going to make the autumn square while knitting, so that's less important, but I do need a good stitch gauge for the width of the stitch to determine what size I'm going to make. Under the Dutch vlog, someone says, oh, I think swatching is such a waste of time. And yeah, well, that was my opinion as well. But once I started to knit garments, that changed, because it is so much easier if you know how big your knitting will be and what size of garment you need to make. And so at this point in time, like yesterday, I caked these up and I put them in my new Studio Berengoord bag, and I filled the notions pouch, and I gathered all the supplies that I need to start my Christmas Eve cast on the 24th, and then I got to knit with the yarn. And it's not even December 24th, right? So I got to knit with my new yarn in a new new to me base, and I enjoyed it so much. And we were watching television. There's this television show in the Netherlands and in other countries as well, but here in the Netherlands it's called Hunted. We use the English word for this television show, and it's a show about regular people just like you and me, and they have to flee from the police and the authorities, and there's this team of cops and private investigators, and they can use all the equipment that they have at hand to track the fugitives down. And so all the cameras that are on the freeway, they can, as soon as someone is using their debit card, they will get a call. So you've probably heard of this show. Anyways, Sven is home this weekend and he really enjoys this show. And the new season started on November 3rd or 4th, I don't even know. So yesterday we watched the first episode of the current or last season, and I got to knit while we were watching. So that means that here in the middle of my garters I did this bit of stockinette, but who cares? Oh, I got a card from one of the Dutch knitters to wish me well. So cute. Swatching does not always mean that you have to make a new swatch. This is a swatch that I made for a shawl, and this is the swatch I used when I started my Rocio cardigan, because I wanted to knit in this yarn in another colorway, but in my high twist yarn, and I liked this fabric, so I knew that I wanted to have my Rocio knitted on this gauge. And in this swatch are also the holes to indicate what needle I used. So there are three holes in here, so I used needle 3.75, and it gave me the drape I wanted. And although I was on a larger needle than the pattern recommended, I got exact gauge, which was such a joy. So you don't have to always make a new swatch if you just save your swatches. and you put the needle size you used in your swatch, over time you collect many swatches that you can use when you want to start a new project. I also bound off the bits and bobs swatch. I've been practicing with fixing mistakes. I've been practicing the stitch. I like what I have now. The suspended bind off was way too tight, but like I explained while doing it, that's not important because I am not going to use the suspended bind off. I will probably knit an I-cord all around. So I'm going to start with an I-cord. I'm going to do I-cords at the side, and I'm going to end with an I-cord. So the suspended bind off was just something quick and easy, but I'm not going to use it. So, but I have a swatch now to calculate the size of the blanket that I want for my 2025 temperature blankets. So excited. I think that's it for today. Do you have a favorite color? Or have you ever had a workshop or an advice like this? And do you use it often, or do you just choose whatever you want? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I am so glad that you are here again. I hope you enjoy what you do, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.